right, welcome back. You're still watching TV47. And as I promised earlier, I'd be back. And yes, I am back. My name is Freddy Ndimuli. We want to discuss matters technology now. Artificial intelligence is definitely democratizing a lot more. And that includes education. Yeah, with quite a number of solutions that are making education more accessible to quite a number of underserved demographics. That is what we want to talk about today. What kind of solutions do exist in as far as education, and what does this mean for this sector that is so key to our lives going forward? For this conversation, this morning we're privileged to have this gentleman, Victor Sila.
Jambo.
Victor is based in San Francisco, that's in the United States. He's a product builder and the founder of the GOtv platform, which is one of those AI solutions that are definitely working on democratizing education. Now, our discussion is titled One Student, One Tutor. And let's start from there.
Yeah.
Victor, what exactly does it mean to democratize education? So,
it's very simple. We want to make the best education accessible to students, and it doesn't matter your geography, it doesn't matter how much money you make. All it matters is you have the desire to learn and the passion to learn. We know that Kenya has great talent. And so what we want to do is we want to match the talent with opportunity. And so where we do that is we work with the schools and we work with the students to figure out how might we be able to give teachers superpowers so they can reach every single student in a class.
All right. So here we understand that you're a product builder, and I'm assuming GOtv is a platform you're working on.
Yes.
Tell us more about GOtv.
So, the best students are those who have like private tutors. We have research shows, if you make a class smaller and the teachers can reach more students, they perform really well. So GOtv is really a tutor on a phone for every child. So it's like a patient teacher that never gets tired. It asks questions until the child figures it out. And we are running a program here in Kenya with 21 schools who are actually, been using it for about 6 months. And we're seeing incredible numbers in terms of improvement in math, reading, and science. And the beauty of that is that the AI is really working with the children one-on-one. Like if you hired a tutor, usually it costs about 1,000 shillings to 5,000 shillings, depending who you're hiring. So this is really like a child, all they need is a phone. And the way the GOtv works is that they can access it with very little Wi-Fi.
All right.
So it works with very low Wi-Fi. So that's the beauty. So we've launched in these schools with I Choose Life. And we're very excited to kind of partner with the schools and with the teachers to make this a reality, to give every child in Kenya a personal tutor.
Yeah. And you said you're working with how many schools in Kenya so far?
21 schools.
21 schools.
Yes.
So GOtv is an AI platform you're working on.
Yes.
How is it different from probably any other platforms that are on the same route using AI? So
one of the things that we have is, let me just say, I grew up in Kenya. So I grew up here. I went to Muthaiga Primary School.
So you are Kenyan?
Yeah, I'm Kenyan.
Probably that's where we should have started.
I should start with that. I went to Kahawa Garrison. I went to Morphosis Academy. And I know exactly what a classroom feels like and looks like, right? One of the things that we've done this pilot for 6 months, is that we're seeing results.
Okay.
Right? So when we see results, it gets the students excited because they can practice 24 hours. Instead of going to TikTok or social media, they have a platform where they can practice the Kenyan CBC and for the final exams. So the beauty of what you're doing is that if results is what really drives the whole process, right? So I'm here in Kenya. I'm spending time with the students in the class, with the teachers in the class. I'm sitting with them and I'm figuring out how do I make GOtv much more effective?
Right.
What are the things that they're struggling with? So it's most like field research to help the students learn better, but also to help the teachers teach the students much better. So its result is why we are different.
You say you went through the Kenyan education system, and traditionally, of course, it's a class with one teacher and about 30, 40, 50, some classrooms even going up to 70 learners at a go.
Yep.
Now you're talking about one student, one tutor.
Yeah.
The panic, or rather the reluctance to probably go the AI way, is a number of jobs that are going to be taken away.
Yeah.
Are we saying that, yes, in the next few years or so, teachers will be obsolete?
My answer is no, honestly no. So GOtv cannot, or AI, cannot walk into a classroom, look the student in the eye, and inspire them. You need a teacher for that. What we do is when the teacher walks in school, like if a teacher walks in the class on Thursday, the teacher will already know which student is actually needs help. So we are giving superpowers to the teachers to actually understand, of all the students that are taking the class, which student needs help in a subject that she's been teaching like yesterday. She knows the 6 students who are struggling. So she's able to create a system to help those 6 students actually get up. Right now, what happens is that when you have so many kids in a class, there's no way humanly possible that a teacher can actually reach all those kids, right? They need the support. So GOtv turns good teachers to great teachers. That's the first thing. And then we are partners and we do not compete with the teacher. It's not a competition with the teacher. So we found after 6 months with working with the teachers and the schools, one of the things that teachers have is that they are equipped to understand how to reach those students. And that data is what is so powerful. Because when you know the way you are teaching and the way how the students are succeeding and the data to actually improve them, then you can understand as a teacher, how am I doing?
Yes.
And so we are giving them the tools to actually be even much better teachers than they are today.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're saying that this AI tool is not coming here to replace teachers?
No.
Rather to complement teachers?
100%.
Yeah, teachers are supposed to be giving instructions to students.
Yeah.
And the AI tool is doing what?
Very good question. So let's take an example. There's a girl called Amina. She's in Form 3 in Machakos, right? She's a smart girl, but she's in a class of like 45 students and a family cannot pay for a tutor, right? So when she gets something wrong, nobody explains it, right? Because the teacher is overwhelmed with like 77 students, there's no a chance for her to actually get that help. So the gap stays with her.
Okay.
So with GOtv, when she opens her phone after school, the AI asks her a question. If she gets it wrong, it asks another question. It asks the question until she understands the problem. So what we're doing is that it's more of a practice tool than anything else. When a teacher finishes a class, she can assign subjects to the students in real time. If a student is struggling with a problem, a math problem or any problem, she can take the student can take a picture of that problem, and it will explain it. It won't give him the answer. It will act like a tutor. It will challenge the student about their thinking, and then it will work and adapt based on their context and how they understand it. So
when it does this, because you say the student will present this problem.
Yes.
Onto the tool.
Onto the app, yeah.
How are they doing this? Is it verbal? Do they have to type out the question? How exactly does it work?
So the way GOtv works is that we have all the CBC questions in the system, right? So we've modeled it to actually match the Kenyan school system. And the beauty of that is that kids don't have to wait until the end of the year or midterms to know how they're going to do. And they know today how they're going to do in the exams because we've modeled the whole thing in the Kenyan education system. So the way it works is that the questions are already in there. So when they log in, it will greet them, Jambo, Bui,
so there's a voice assistant.
There's a voice assistant,
okay.
And then they can either just talk to the AI or they can type. So we make it accessible. Some kids are not comfortable talking, some kids are more comfortable typing. So we make it accessible depending on the skills of the kids. So the questions are there. And so it asks the questions, and then they answer. If they get it wrong, the AI will ask them, "Do you need help?" When they click on "Do you need help?" it will walk them step by step on how to get that problem. It will never give them the answer. And if they get really stuck, they can actually launch something we're calling GeoSpeak, and they can actually have a conversation like we're having right now. And it'll say, "Hey, I'm seeing you're you're working on this problem. What kind of help do you need?" And it will challenge you and ask you, just like a real teacher would ask you, step by step, and work with you until you understand it. So it's very, one of the superpowers. We're not measuring engagement, we're measuring understanding.
Okay.
So we want, when children understand the problem, during exam, they pass.
All right.
So that's the power of like GeoSpec, is that it really mimics an actual live tutor.
Well, one of the things that comes up from that is an issue of communication. That this app being developed in the US,
yeah,
and a Kenyan student probably in Moranga, whose English is not necessarily the same as American English.
Yeah.
How do you bridge that gap? Because the way a student in Moranga would express themselves trying to articulate a mathematical question to the app, there could be a challenge there.
We have Swahili.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
also Swahili.
Yes, you can learn in Swahili if you want. Mm-hmm. In the future, we're going to have a different language. You're going to have it in Kikuyu, in Luo, whatever. We'll have all the languages. When the kids start, I would love it if we start GeoPath with like standard 1. Mm-hmm. Imagine the power of that, right? So the way the app works, it's so adaptive to the kid, like a real teacher. And it will communicate based on like what the kids are. We talk about like the teacher, like you go to a market, you buy mandazis, and you take a matatu. We use like the cultural language to actually reach the students, right? So the adaptive part of GeoPath is what makes it really powerful. Is that it adapts to every single child up to the question, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's why it makes it powerful, because like if you're in a class of 45, we all learn very differently, right? Probably you're very smart in your class, maybe some of your friends were not as quick to actually get the subjects, they needed more help. So the beauty of GeoPath, it adapts to every single student, personalized to them. Based on their capacity, based on how they talk in English, it adjusts dynamically in real time. Mm-hmm. So what it does, and then it starts elevating up to the standards level, right, of the nation. So that's what makes it extremely powerful, and that's why I'm so excited, is that I've been building AI tools for Amazon, and over 300 people use Amazon AI Assistant to shop. Mm-hmm. And so when I came here to Kenya, and I was on Misiani Girls, and these ladies are smart, they have the desire and the vision, they're talented, right? So how can I, as a Kenyan who was going through this whole system, mm-hmm. and I used to stress, just like everyone is stressing during exams, how can I help these students actually perform really well? Okay. So it's a story built on me just being here, being around the schools, and the reason why I'm here in Kenya, I just traveled from the US, I'm spending time with the students, I'm in the class with them, yes. I'm asking the teachers, I'm trying to figure out what is it about this program that I can improve. Okay. And so I'm not designing this app from San Francisco. I'm not designing this app from an office in Nairobi. I'm going to be in the class in Kakamega. I'm going to be in the class in Kadiani and Machakos. And I'm going to sit like the student, and I'm going to figure out how is this app actually improving the skills. And
you talked about working with the CBE curriculum. Is it that the government or the KICD that's in charge of the curriculum currently has onboarded this app officially? Is it among other apps being used on the same curriculum dispensation?
So right now we're doing a pilot with partnership with I Choose Life. So it's a program whereby we're trying to elevate not just the students but also the teachers, right? It's a SEALS program that is to empower the teachers to elevate the standard of education here in Kenya. So this pilot is something that we're working with I Choose Life as a proof of concept.
You keep mentioning I Choose Life.
Yes.
Many of our audiences may be wondering, okay, who's choosing life where? So tell us more about I Choose Life before we come back.
Absolutely. If Mike was here, he could tell me more. So I Choose Life is all about youth empowerment, right? And you're part of that program too. I was told.
Yes,
a few years back.
I am an alumni of I Choose
Life. Yeah. So if you could explain I Choose Life, what would you say it is?
I wanted you.
No, I wanted to talk
about.
Here's an example right here we're seeing of that amazing program. So what is it about I Choose Life that you thought that really changed your life?
No, it's about making decisions, about you growing up and making the right decisions based on different things that you go through life at a different stage. Back then it was about our sexual lives. Probably now it's moved on to other things. But yes, about decisions. But back to the question. Now that you're talking about empowering teachers, is it that you've identified a gap or a knowledge gap with even the teaching fraternity in Kenya? That when it comes to AI, because different sectors have been have had different speeds in adopting this new technology, have you identified the challenges in probably elevating teachers to come to a certain level so that they can use your app comfortably?
So, the teachers we have are amazing. They're doing the best job they can do, right? With the resources they have, and they're overwhelmed, right? So when I was approaching GeoPath, I wasn't thinking from just the lens of just the student. I have to look 360 around. I'm looking at the student, I'm looking at the teacher, I'm also looking at the parent, right? So this program is there to really, the intelligence about this app is not just about how do we elevate the students, we also want to elevate the teachers, right? So if you go to every school, I mean, when I was in Muthaiga primarily, I had amazing teachers, right? And one of the biggest challenges is that there are amazing teachers all over the country. And what GeoPath does is that we can tell in the program which the teachers are doing an amazing job, because we can see in the data. But GeoPath is so clever, it will take all the goodness and how the teachers are teaching those students in the most popular school here, and it will actually take that intelligence and help and lift up the teachers and give them the skills to, if a teacher is starting on day one, they will have the skill of the teacher who's been around for 10 years if they're using the app. So it's a learning program. It's not just a static program that just stays the way it is. So what we're doing is, even every single day a student is using GeoPath, it's improving the system. It's taking all that intelligence and figuring out the best way to teach this subject is this way. So if a teacher had that tool saying, we have, of your class, we have 23 students, your 45 students, 23 of them are doing really well because the way the AI is explaining this problem is getting them to understand the problem much faster, right? So it will tell the teacher, if you're teaching this class, whether it's statistics, here is a way you can teach them to reach them to make them much more, to be more effective as a teacher. So when a teacher is equipped in terms of like, are you able to teach a class to help all the students, that data is going to be collected and help the teachers actually structure their lessons and their curriculum and the lesson plan based on actually the data that's helping the children actually learn.
Yet one of the issues that you're trying to resolve is this one-size-fits-all approach in education, one teacher teaching 75 people in one class. So how different is this? Because you're still referring to the same teacher.
Yeah, so we're referring to the same teacher, but the idea of GeoPath is, the power of the GeoPath is adaptive. So the teacher, of course, is inspiring the students. He's there looking at the eye. He knows, he can see the students are struggling and go to the table and help them. What the AI does is that when they go, like all these 21 schools, they're spending about an hour almost every day practicing. They're practicing what the teacher just taught yesterday. Right? So what that does is that it will realize that some students already get it. If they get it, they're taken to the next level. And for those who are struggling, it will stay with them until they get it. So it's really like personalized coaching that helps the children practice the subjects, and that way the teacher can actually be able to start the next day equipped with knowing that, hey, here are the students that I think are doing really well, here's students that need really help, and they can do two things. One, they can either set those students aside and spend more time with them, or they can, and then the other 25 students who are doing really well, she can move to the next subject. So all you want to do is you want to make sure that no child is left behind. So there's always that student in the front of the class who's raising their hands, say, teacher, explain it to me. There's a student in the back of the class who used to be me. I'm shy, I'm quiet, I'm afraid to ask questions and get explanation. We make it possible for all those students to be like this kid who's sitting in front of the class.
All right. Now that you see you're working with the CBC platform, and one of the things that our education system has been very reluctant is introducing gadgets in the classroom. Now there has to be an interface, a smartphone, a laptop, probably a PC. How is that going? Are we saying that we are looking at the possibility that in the next 1 year or a few months, gadgets will be a necessity in the classroom?
That's a really challenging question because all over the world we're seeing the way the education is being structured today with gadgets is that they haven't put safeguarding into, like safeguarding is one of the most important things that GeoPath is actually partnered with Pamoja, which is a safeguarding and mental health company here in Kenya. And so what we've done is, like, for example, the laptops that we are actually going to be producing is that we're going to make sure that kids cannot access anything except education. So we have to
special laptops.
Yeah, special laptops. Yeah. So it's a designed laptop that you can access. You can YouTube. You can go to TikTok or social media. It can only be education 100% what we have vetted. We have to control the environment the kids are learning in. So the biggest problem we're seeing, and this is something that happened during COVID, is that in the US, all the schools were given laptops. Most of them are Google Chromes. The Google Chromes don't have any safeguarding in them. So kids were accessing YouTube, and actually saw kids getting addicted to the laptop because they can access games, they can access YouTube, and everything else. And then it became a challenge to actually have them pay attention in class. So with GeoPath, the way it's designed in a way that we can actually kind of limit what kids can access outside. That's without interrupting the education.
So beyond even the software, you are looking at providing the hardware as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So because I think that's the best program, right? So we can make sure that the children, when they go to school, they're only learning, right? They're not there to watch dance videos.
You must have been aware that a few years back, I think it was a Jubilee administration that made that promise to supply laptops to school, and they had with the same kind of controls you're talking about. Did you pick anything from that? Are you hoping to use any of that plan that obviously failed?
Well, no. So what it is, it's the laptops you're building, they're customized. It's like a very customized platform that is very gated to just education. So it's that to me, I think is the best way to make sure that the kids are only learning. So we have 21 schools doing GeoPath right now. And the only way to keep them focused, the teacher has to be in the class to make sure they're monitoring the kids, right?
So even as they use the laptops, they use the app, they have to be supervised by them.
They have to be supervised because, the app right now just works on a browser, right? We don't have, it's not like a lock system, right? You have to go to, it's accessible in any phone. You don't need strong Wi-Fi, you don't need like a big phone. You can access it with like a 20-year-old phone, it'll work. So the way I designed it is for accessibility. And that's why I chose Kenya to launch this startup. I wanted to make it work here with all the resources and the challenges of like access. So to me, having 21 schools using it and working, that's why you have to work with the teachers. That's why our partners. They're the ones who are making this program successful. So the kids are even more excited about it. Every time I go I was going on Zooms and meetings with them, they're excited to learn. They're asking the teachers, can they spend more time? I've asked teachers who have asked us, can we actually, because right now we're doing only Form 3 and Form 4 right now. Only those are the 21 schools right now. And they're asking, can we actually start doing it early because they can see the actual results.
Yes.
So to me, it's really exciting. And in terms of just managing the computers in the system, they have to be an adult in the room. So this AI works, GeoPath works because the parent is in the room and the teacher is in the room, right? It's not something that's done without the support of the family or with the schools. Are
we saying there's a risk, a potential risk, if at all children are left with a gadget, probably they're using the app or even on a normal browser, that probably because of the kind of challenges we're experiencing currently with the ethical AI use, that they could go beyond what is required of them?
Yeah, so the thing is, when you have the laptops, the reason why we're thinking about actually providing the gadget in the system is that we'll block anything that's not about GeoPath, right? So right now, GeoPath, we designed GeoPath around one principle. The child is never exposed to anything that isn't their schoolwork. That's very important to us. There's no social feed. There's no chat. There's no contact with any user. It's a closed loop, student and AI tutor curriculum only. We don't save recordings of the voice. We collect only the child's name and age. Those are the only two things we collect. And then parents and schools can delete any data at any time. If anything concerning comes up, either a sense of distress or we flag it to the school immediately. The teacher always know, the parent always know, we are never a black box. So we involve the teachers specifically about the platform. So GeoPath right now, if you ask GeoPath, what is the weather? it won't tell you the weather because it's 100% designed just for schools, just for education. It will get you back to the school, and if there's any situation of distress, we immediately let the school. So it's part of the safeguarding that is part of our policy of safety. My kids were the first users of GeoPath. My kid was struggling with fractions, with decimals, and today, like Kenya is one of the biggest users of social medias in the world. Right, and also we're one of the biggest users of ChatGPT and AI in the world, one of the highest. And what most people are doing with AI is they're just using it to cheat for their homework and everything else. And so what you have seen is, we've seen, for example, University of Berkeley, they've seen that during exam, scores have gone down by up to 20% because people are just using AI to cheat. So that's why this AI, GeoPath, will never ever give you the answer. It will challenge you, and it will never move forward until you understand.
Meaning your servers do not interact with any other servers anywhere else?
No.
So there's no chance of this AI getting information from elsewhere
Yeah.
and telling
and
the
so
student?
The truth is, math and English has been solved for hundreds and thousands of years. We're not reinventing math, right? So there's actually very little AI involved in GeoPath. GeoPath does a very simple thing. It's an intelligence that just tracks performance, and then it acts like a teacher in the voice. We're using Google Voice for the Gemini for that, and then what we're doing. The use of AI is very small, but in terms of the curriculum and the subjects, it's already been determined. So we're not inventing any new thing.
All right. You say you're still in the pilot phase with a focus on certain subjects, not all of them. Which
math. Yeah, you're right. It's math. Reading and science. So science is geography, physics, chemistry. Those are the ones that we're doing right now.
How far are you in as far as making it accessible to everyone across Kenya? You talked about even a plan to onboard even the use of vernacular.
Yeah.
How far are we in as far as developing that is concerned?
So right now, Kenyans can go right now and sign up for GeoPath for free. It's free until end of September. And I encourage everyone to go to geopath.com and just sign up their kid and just watch how amazing it's going to change, help them with their education. Being from here, I deeply care about elevating the standards of education. We had last year, 2025 KCSE, 1 million kids took the end of year exam. 3 out of 4 did not get into university. 3 out of 4, and there's a big gap in terms of support, and teachers need the support, the schools need the support. GeoPath is here to provide the support for that, right? Imagine if kids, instead of going to social media, they just spent 30 to 45 minutes on GeoPath, their grades would go up.
All right.
We have the data that tells that already.
But there's the issue of parents' concerns, and I know you've talked about it briefly, but definitely some level of data will be involved, personal data that a student has to log in. They share some of their information, personal information. What guarantee do you offer in as far as safety of learners?
Just like I mentioned, the safeguarding things we have in place. Right now, when students sign up, we only collect their name and the grade, and that's it. We don't store any data. We just use that data of the learning data, how they're learning. Are they struggling? Are they doing really well? How do we take them from level 1 to level 2? And the amount of AI is used there is very little. It's just to move kids up and down and to adapt. That's all it does. So in terms of data, we don't collect data like Google Gmail collects more data, or Facebook collects more data than you can imagine. It's like almost like less than 0.25% of my data collected. It's only the data we're collecting is only performance data. How are they actually practicing? Do they need more help? And then how does the AI help them move up or down based on ability? It's very little.
I'm curious to learn about your opinion on the use of AI generally in education matters. Many, even universities, even secondary schools are struggling. Teachers are struggling to adjust to AI because of the fast nature of development in technology. Is it a challenge to you? And what is your opinion in using AI directly in education?
So AI is a tool, and it's a tool just like any other tool for education. I think even in the US right now, schools are struggling. The whole industry is struggling because of AI. And I think the biggest problem is that people don't know how to teach with it, right? And so teachers are using AI to detect AI, and the problem is that I think GeoPath is one of those systems when I was that I built that actually came from a problem that I was facing with my son. My son is going to school, and he was using ChatGPT to do his homework. And the school found out because, teachers can tell when the kids are using AI, right? I mean, it's getting easier to hide it, but if a kid is performing poorly in one class and then suddenly they're getting an A+, then something is not right? Unless they got a very amazing tutor. So it's a challenge I had with my son that he was using AI to actually, improve his homework. Instead of doing his homework, he's just like having AI do it. And the schools are also having the same problem. Even universities are having this problem. And so when I was building the app, my goal was that, how can I create something that actually acts like a real teacher, that is patient, that adapts in real time, that never ever gives them the answer. So that adaptation is based on me trying to solve for my child and figuring out how do I happen. So he's been using GeoPath. He's doing grade above because of that. My daughter, she's in standard 4, she's doing standard 5 now, math. And the way that it worked, because they are challenged, and that the GeoPath acts like the tutor that challenges them and doesn't give them the answer. So to solve this problem is really, we have to think about systems that are put in place like GeoPath that really helps in building understanding of the problem rather than just telling the people the answer. So that's something I think schools are struggling with right now. GeoPath has from standard 1 all the way to 4-year university. So we're actually piloting with universities also, who are using this program also to actually to learn. So it's something that I'm very excited about. Something I think the whole time I'm here is to understand how people are using it and how to make it better, so that we match talent to opportunity. Yeah.
You talked about the app or the tool understanding the learner.
Yeah.
And for many people, many may feel this is a machine.
Yeah.
How does it get to understand the learner? Probably get back to human element so that we understand the problems that this child could be facing outside the classroom. So when you come in there and you think that it can go beyond the classroom?
Yeah, so for right now, we just focus 100% on the classroom, right? And when you log into GeoPath, you're greeted with like a voice. It
doesn't ask you are you happy today?
No. We don't. It's
have you had lunch?
100% about education, right? But also one thing we do detect when there's frustration, right? So and then in fact, it was interesting to watch my daughter. She was really struggling with the fractions. And what I was so proud is that the GeoPath was able to actually adapt how it was asking her, right? It started with it went down to okay, here 4 apples. It went all the way to apples to explain a problem. So GeoPath, in terms of how it teaches, will actually even change the way it's asking you the question, because that's what a good teacher does, right? So
it can also detect the frustration of a learner if
yes.
The learner is getting frustrated.
Exactly. And then it will, because if you keep getting it wrong and spending more time on a problem, it tries to understand how can I help this child learn. So that's why it's so powerful. It's not just like a robot. It's actually a learning system. It's like a brain of intelligence that pays attention to when a kid needs help and when they're doing well, and it congratulates them when they're doing well. And we don't have a lot of apps have bells and whistles in the app, right? There's streaks. There's a lot of gamification in the learning. We're focused 100% on the education. The reward is you at the end of each getting a certificate. We give a certificate at the end of each of those lessons. And so the reward is the learning, and that's why we've structured this that way.
They say, Jack, what's the saying? All work without play makes Jack a dull boy. Are you saying there's no chance of gamification on this app? It's just learning and learning.
Learning. And the thing is, because there's so many apps out there that gamify. And what's happening is that if you build a learning environment where it's called edutainment, you're educating and you're entertaining, but when that child goes to a class, it's not going to be like that.
Yeah.
He's sitting in his desk and there's a teacher. right? And it's very serious. So what we're trying to do is that you want to make sure we're matching the real world of how children actually learn.
Okay.
And so that's why it's working really well. That's why it's safe, it's effective, and all the kids have to do is just be hungry for learning. This morning I drove from Kadhiani at 4 in the morning. It was completely dark. And you were driving, and as you're driving, as the headlight is shining on the road, we're seeing small children going to school at 4 in the morning. You know, walking to school. How inspiring is that? You know, and it makes me want to cry because to me, I want to make this app available and help those kids actually succeed, give them the tools they need to practice and learn.
Okay.
So when you talk about democratizing, that Kadhiani kid walking in the middle of the night to go to school by herself, a little girl by herself going to school, this is why I built this app. I want to be able to make sure that we give these children the opportunity to do that. And Kenyans, we're smart.
Including the opportunity not to have to walk to school that early, probably homeschooling.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what this is intended for? That
yes,
eventually parents may be able to use this to teach their children at home?
Yes, exactly. Imagine. So there's a huge stress. I mean, I know when I was going to school here, during exam, I was stressing. I was crying sometimes. How stressed I was. And you can see the pressure here in Kenya, right? During end of year exams, there's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure because there's so much pressure for these exams. And one of the things that I did, and I don't know if you did this, I used to wait until the last 2 weeks to study.
Well,
I used to stay up until in the morning. I drink coffee in the morning to stay up all night before the exam to study. But that's not healthy. It's not sustainable. And the reason why it was that case is because that it's very hard today to be able to study every day, to practice. You know, you have either to find past papers, or you have to have you have to find a system whereby it challenges you every day and you can work with it every day and practice. So practice makes perfect. So GeoPath today, parents can download it for free. They don't even have to download it. They just have to go to geopath.com and sign up and sign up their child. They can start practicing for the end of year exam, not at the end of the year or midterms, today, right? It starts teaching them today to be great at the end of the year. So imagine we're starting this at standard 1. Standard 1, if they start using GeoPath, by the time they reach Form 4, they're going to be experts.
Yes.
Because we are preparing them for the end of the year exams, on day 1. Okay. So that's something that I think that will help parents at home. And anybody that wants to try it, they can go right now and sign up for free until the end of September to try it out and see how amazing it is.
Okay. One of the biggest challenges we've had, especially with the new curriculum, CBE, in comparison to 844, is a kind of disparity between schools in urban centers and schools in rural areas. Yeah. Like a child somewhere deep in Baringo may not be able to access some resources that are readily available for a child in Nairobi, for example, or even any other urban centers like Eldoret. So how does this app, GeoPath, bridge that gap? Is there any special offering you have to ensure that, okay, fine, even equity in as far as this is concerned is possible?
Yes, and so the GeoPath was built for Kenya, not for Nairobi, right? So it works on slow internet on a basic smartphone. A child in Turkana can get the same tutor as a child in Westlands. Same question, same patience, same quality. The only difference is that GeoPath doesn't charge, for your tutor. You pay for it once and you have access to it all time. Accessibility is very important to me. It's important to me because we grew up, the same challenges every family faces in terms of money and resources, right? So when I was designing this, I wanted to make sure when I went to Misiani Girls and I was inspired by the students there, I wanted GeoPath to be able to be accessible at any of that. So one of the things is that the way most people have built AI, it requires a lot of bandwidth to work, right? And so I said, how can I make AI work in the middle of the country with low Wi-Fi? So one of the things we do is we just need Wi-Fi in the beginning of the lesson. It downloads all the lessons, and then you can turn off Wi-Fi and you can practice like straight without any Wi-Fi at home even. And then they come back, they get online, and then it takes the exams, it rates everything else, and then it downloads the next 50. So that's the reason why it's working in 21 schools all over the country. is that you don't need constant constant bandwidth to use it. We build it so that it works with no Wi-Fi at all.
So no need for internet connectivity.
Exactly. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Yeah. So, but you need it in the beginning of the class. You need at least a bundle to actually, when you sign in, it downloads all the classes, turn Wi-Fi off, go home to your kids, give them the phone, they practice like they have internet. Yeah.
Right. You're dealing with the 2021 schools right now. There could be a challenge in more schools buying into this idea.
Yeah.
What is the biggest challenge? Why are you able to give evidence of success stories, and what kind of evidence is this as you're trying to recruit new schools?
Yeah, so one of the things we do is that we've hired a peer researcher, and to actually monitor the actual outcome of this, right? So if you are going to go to any of the schools in Kenya, we need that research, that peer research done on that. So we have a researcher that's hired who's going to monitor the whole pilot to make sure that we're honest. And I want that, right? I can come and just give you data and say, hey, students are learning really great. We're going to have like peer review data that researchers can confirm that is actually working. And then we're seeing the improvement in the data already. We're seeing GeoPath is designed in a way that we collect data in terms of how children are performing in real time. But I think it's important for us to actually get that reviewed by peers to build that trust, because trust is everything for us. So once we have that peer, we have on September 30th, we have a big conference here in Nairobi where we're going to be actually having those students and the teachers coming to talk about GeoPath, and those who are doing really well and give awards. We're going to have the peer review actually presented to all the schools. So that alone is going to be what's going to help us actually scale to other schools to actually show the real data and show the real research that the students are going through to make sure we are honest and you can build trust.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, as you say, and you talk about honesty and trust, there could be a lot of skepticism when it comes to technology, even from as high as the Ministry of Education, KICD. How much of that are you getting? Are they buying in, especially the government agencies? Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, right now what we're doing is, in partnership with Choose Life, is we are, so one of the things is that it's one thing to go to, if you're an inventor and you're building an invention, unless people can actually try it and experience it, it's hard for them to build any thinking about it, right? So one of the things we want to do is that we want to do a proof of concept first. Does it actually work? Should I actually spend more time working on this? And if I'll be honest with you, if I had done this and it didn't work on my kids, I wouldn't try and expose it to any other kids. I'll just stop it right there, right? So the things that gives me so much faith and confidence is that we're building this very slowly, very intentionally, with the teachers and the teachers and the students side by side, together, right? We're using this real-time world experience to actually make something that really is actually impactful, and we're seeing it with our very own eyes. So once we have this program in place and the pilot is something that we feel is confident and we have the peer review, this is something we approach the government, to approach the schools with. We need to build that trust first, to actually show the data. Because if I come to you and say, hey, I want to do this, but there's no evidence whatsoever that it's working, it's a waste of time for the people, and they're busy people. So to me, it's like, first show the evidence, have it peer reviewed by a reputable firm, and then use it as a means to actually bring in dialogue. It's how we have this thing that's really working. How do we scale it? How can we be partners? And then they'll say, what do you need? What can we offer? And it'll be amazing to get the schools, but also get the government to support this, because what we're providing is something extremely, I think, valuable. Is that we have data of the student up to the exact question they're being asked. They're starting with this specific question, and there are maybe 400 people in that school that are starting with this question. So we have micro data of every single student. So imagine if the teacher, when they walk in the morning in the school, they have understanding of how the students are doing. Okay. They have a dashboard that shows them how they're all doing. And then imagine how the principal of that school can see across the whole school how each class and each teacher is doing. And then you take that a level up, imagine how the government can look in real time and see how every single student in the school is doing in real time. They don't have to wait, they don't have to pick up a phone. It's there on the dashboard, they can see everything. So this is how you build a system. And for example, the government can find out, or the teachers board, or they can find out that there's a specific skill that we're seeing that is lacking around all the teachers.
Okay.
And then they can offer that as to train the teachers. They can offer a training with university to actually up-level that part where all the schools are struggling. So this data, real-time data, is something that I think is so powerful, because what it does, we can build a curriculum that's actually working. Because sometimes what we do is the lesson plans and the way every teacher is teaching. Every teacher is using their own method of teaching. Mm-hmm. But if we were to tell every teacher that we've seen with actual evidence that if you teach this class this way, you're going to have 90% success. Okay. Right? So what we're doing is we're empowering the students with the data, we're empowering the teachers with the data, we're empowering the government with the data, so that we can build a much stronger school here in Kenya.
All right. Yeah. And of course, any developer will at some point want to monetize whatever you've built. Yeah. Right now you say that many learners can access it for free. Yeah. What is your plan, and as far as monetization is concerned? Is it to get it universally adopted by the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, sorry, and incorporate it into the plan, or probably work with individual learners going forward?
Both. Right. So I think we want GeoPath to be a system that works in school, but also work for when they're at home. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those two have to work really well together. Because right now when children are out of school, they don't practice, they're not learning anymore. Mm-hmm. So parents will say, hey, I want you to spend 1 hour or 30 minutes every day on GeoPath, mm-hmm. because it keeps the learning going even when they're out of school. Mm. So that's the beauty of this, and they don't have to hire a tutor. Tutor here costs a lot of money, from Kenya shillings 500 all the way to like 5,000, depending on who you're hiring. So you have a tutor that's available to you for free. All you have to do is just make sure the kids are sitting down and focusing on GeoPath for at least 30 to 45 minutes every day, and you'll see them succeed in school. All right. Yeah.
And probably one last question, or probably the second last question. I'm sure there are risks you've identified, and any developer may have troubleshot a few things going forward and said, okay, fine, we may get to a point and we need to check on this. What are the risks you foresee as a developer, not from the consumer's end, you as a developer?
I mean, we're working with some of the top security experts to make sure everything is really safe. That's why even when children, right now all the schools, none of the kids have accounts. The way we've modeled this is that because you want to scale to all the schools, you can have every single kid have like a Gmail account to access it. Mm-hmm. You don't need a Gmail account. You don't need an email account to access GeoPath. We built a system whereby the school generates a code, and then the children all have to do is enter their admin PIN number, right? So those two have to match. It's a long string. It's very secure. So the reason why we did that, because in terms of accessibility, not every kid in Kenya has a Gmail account or have email account, right? So the idea is, how do we make access even when they're creating accounts, possible. So that's one of the things I thought about. Is that I'm not designing this for Silicon Valley. I'm designing it here for Kenya, for kids in Kakamega, in Laikipia, in Machakos. We are making it accessible by making sure that kids can be able to access it without having to have all these features.
And finally, as a bearer of this vision, where do you see this in the next, let's say, 3 years?
Well, we're in Kenya right now. I want, this is my home country. I want to make Kenya one of the top performing schools in the world. Mm-hmm. I want to elevate education, and this is possible. Okay. I want Kenya to be number one. That's my dream. Right. And then I'm thinking about, how do we scale to Tanzania, to Uganda, to the rest of Africa, all over the world. Mm-hmm. And so to me, it's a very thoughtful, slow way for us to build trust and to show and to lead with data, to lead with good data. And when people see it, they'll be knocking out doors to actually use it, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, it's one of the things that I'm doing that most AI companies or even companies don't do today, is that I'm spending a lot of time with the people using it. I'm here spending time with them. Mm-hmm. I'm in class with them, and I'm not asking them any questions. I'm just watching them. How are they actually getting using it, and not helping them?
Right.
And then at the end of the session, I said, hey, you did this, you did that. Why did you do that? I see you struggle with this. The teacher said, oh, I saw it. And then that's called like field research. And that's how you build the best progress in the world. You have to be where the people are. If you're building a car or you're building a TV or a machine, you have to go to the ground where they're using it. And because that's how you're going to learn what the difficulties in that environment. So I know that Wi-Fi and bandwidth was a big problem. So my goal was that how do I make sure that I'm building for those challenges? So that's why I'm here. I'm spending a few months here in Kenya to just be around all the schools and students to actually make the app one of the most successful, intelligent learning programs in the world.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Victor Silla. Victor Silla is a San Francisco-based product builder and the founder of GOtv platform, one of the AI-powered platforms on education. It's a tool that enables equity and access to education from wherever you are, just using technology. And this is one of those very interesting conversations. You remember, we always say just how fast technology is changing. And even as he says that he has these ambitions for the next few years, we still do not know how it will turn out, because education, and as far as technology is concerned, a lot is changing, not just by the day, by the hour. The conversation has been about one-on-one tutor and learner, how AI is democratizing education. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Freddie Ndimuli. Good morning.